Hey, welcome. This is my first time doing a long form video. I'm Lama Shohecht, CPA, your nonprofit and real estate accounting expert. So in this video today, my first video, I'm going to talk about four very important needs for control in nonprofit organizations. Now, I'm thrilled to have you here today. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to jump right in. So first is financial transparency. One of the key needs for controls in nonprofit organizations is maintaining absolute financial transparency. Now, financial transparency is important for many reasons. One thing is nonprofit organizations tend, unless you receive UBIT, to not be taxed. So in order to have the luxury of not being taxed on your funds, you need to have financial transparency. And not only does it help for you to stay in compliance, but also builds trust with your donors. It builds trust in your community, and it makes people to understand and want to support your organization and its needs. Transparency builds trust with donors, stakeholders, and especially the community. Being able to show clearly where funds are allocated and how they're utilized not only fosters confidence, but also ensures compliance with regulations and best practices. The second thing I wanted to talk about is donor stewardship. Lots of times, the donors, really all the time, are the backbones of the organization. They provide the revenue. They keep the organizations going. And you need to imagine your nonprofit as a garden. And your donors are the precious seeds. And you know how it is with a garden and seeds. You have to water it. You have to feed it. You have to make sure it has sunlight and really nurture that relationship so it can grow and become something positive. Because if you don't, it dies. And not in a good way. So this is a crucial thing to have. You need to make sure you have control over your process management with your donors when it comes to tracking contributions, especially when it comes to expressing heartfelt gratitude. Because remember, engaged donors tend to be recurring donors. Another thing you should have control over in your organization is program effectiveness. In the nonprofit world, achieving your organization's mission is the most important thing. That is your purpose. That's why you exist. So having control of your program effectiveness is crucial. Again, it nurtures this relationship with funders. It nurtures a good relationship with the community in general, especially if you're hitting your goals, doing what you envision, hitting your mission. And there's nothing wrong with tweaking or changing or pivoting your mission as you go along in your nonprofit and really figure out what you want to do. Now, the best way to ensure program effectiveness is through meticulous financial control. You can ensure that your programs are not just impactful, but we have to make sure that they're sustainable. That's why it's great to keep a budget, and not just a budget over dollars, but a budget to know what your program initiatives are. Are you hitting those goals? I would say you should be assessing costs and potentially adjusting strategies or your points or your goals as you move along within your organization. Last but not least, number 4, regulatory compliance. Now, I would say in order to keep your nonprofit status, this may be one of the most important things. So we cannot forget that there is a dance that nonprofits often have to engage in. And one thing you have to make sure is that you are following all the regulatory standards. As a CPA pushing 10 years of experience, I can assure you staying compliant with accounting records, with legal records is so important. But not only is it important, lots of times it can be very time consuming, very stressful, and dare I say it could be very complex. From things like if you receive over a certain threshold in federal funds, not only do you have to have an audit, you have to have a single audit on top of it, which gives you another level of scrutiny. On top of that, a lot of organizations in just about every state have a threshold where if you hit that threshold, you have to get a financial audit, whether you qualify to have a single audit or not. But it's necessary to absolutely maintain this trust. And the one way is to have regulatory compliance. Not only that, it prevents headaches and it prevents the loss of grants and the loss of funding. Because one thing is if you're not following the regulations, if you're not tracking in the way possible, if you're not using the funds in the way that they're appropriated, you could lose those funds, or you can miss out on opportunities to get other funds. So really, regulatory compliance is key. So there you have it, folks. These are 4 vital needs for controlled organization for nonprofits. Remember, it's all about transparency, stewardship, effectiveness, and compliance. Tune in next time as we unravel more fascinating aspects of the accounting world. I know what you're thinking. How can accounting be fascinating? Just stick with me, and you can learn more about the running and management and accounting within a nonprofit organization. And I'm out.